Good morning everybody, hope you're all well and enjoying this really quite chilly and blustery but beautiful and sunny day. It's really weird out there. It's way too windy to be taking the camera outside today because you're not going to hear a thing apart from wind noise. It's going to be really annoying. So today we're going to do some freezer cooking and I'm going to show you how I turn one small packet, so 500 grams of beef mince, into several meals. How I kind of like stretch it and make it healthier, and I make a really delicious what we call meaty base. I know it's not the most exciting name, but I've never come up with a better name for it. So actually let me show you, because I think I've probably got some in the freezer still. So I make batches of this, as you can see, meaty base, and then if I want to make a spag bowl, I use this as the base for the sauce. If I want to make a lasagna, I use this as the meaty base. If I want to make a chili, you can just add some chili beans. Like, this is how I kind of freeze that base meat flavour, spices and vegetables, and it's really good way of doing the big work in one go, because this takes quite a while to cook and there's tons of veggies in here. There's actually not that much meat. And in other news, I have this to cook for tea. Anyone knows Cornish duck? This is a free-range duck company down here in Cornwall. I absolutely love this company. For those of you that have seen the TV show Hedgecomb's Kitchen, and for those of you that haven't, I believe it's coming to Amazon Prime very soon. I know I've been saying that for months, but apparently it got moved back to June. I don't know if you guys know that. So hopefully it'll be coming soon. But in episode 1, we go to this farm and you'll meet the ducks and the owners, and I love this place. This is how farming should be done. So we're going to have this for tea. I'm going to roast it and I'm going to make this skin the most crispy, delicious, unbelievableness. And then the meat underneath will be soft and tender, and we'll just shred it with forks. Probably going to do duck fajitas. Really fancy fajitas today. Oh, and in other news, I went out to feed and clean the chickens yesterday. And unfortunately, a little old girl had fallen off her roost. So one of our older hens had passed away, one of the brown ones. It's not Jet. Don't panic, everyone. Calm down. It wasn't Jet. Jet's fine, as far as I know. I haven't been out there today. I think it was one of the rescue hens that we got last summer when we were filming the TV show, funnily enough. That was part of the show, us collecting the hens. It was really lovely. It was a little bit emotional, I have to say. So I did go out to clean the chickens yesterday, but obviously ended up finding a dead hen and had to sort her out. So I never actually went back to clean, I don't think. So we need to go and do that as well. That green tray had a great big rat in it this morning, filling its belly. I keep coming over here with the camera, seeing if I can catch it for you, but it's not come back. There's 3 days worth of eggs there, and unfortunately I dropped one and it dinked the top of that, so I need to make sure I use that one up today. So I think we might have to make another frittata today as well. This egg is still warm. How lovely. So it is really bitter out there in that wind. Even in the chicken house where it's sheltered, it was so cold. So definitely gonna have a cooking day today, I think. I'm gonna hide indoors. So first thing I need to do is just clear this kitchen down and just wipe all the counters down with vinegar, because obviously we're gonna have lots of food out and about, so I just need to make sure that everything is nice and clean. Then we're gonna get cooking. So one tidy kitchen, and let's make it all very messy again. So first thing to do is, that's the beef that we're going to be using. It's actually got a use by date for tomorrow, so it needs to be used up. I've also got that pack of mushrooms that I'm going to put in with it. And then what I do is I go through the fridge and I pull out every single vegetable that is looking sad, that's looking wrinkly, that's just looking past its best. pretty much any vegetable can go in something like a meaty base or a spag bowl or a lasagna or whatever, because if you mince it in the food processor or if you just chop it up by hand really finely, there ain't no one gonna know what they're eating. It's a great way to use up stuff without throwing it away. 3 peppers, 1 broccoli that has seen better days, some celery that needs using up, spring onions, I'll save them for tonight for the fajitas. So one of my keys to making one of these meaty bases is to use a saucepan rather than a frying pan, and a big saucepan at that, because I end up throwing all sorts into this pan. It's a really good way to use things up. I'm just going to keep on adding stuff to this, so if I do it in a smaller pan, I always end up having to pour it into a bigger one. So first thing, I'm going to get this hot before I put the beef in, so that we get some nice sear and some nice caramelization, and we get little crispy edges, which is always going to add more flavour. There's that dented egg, if you're wondering why there's a random egg on my hob. So this celery is pretty sad now, so I'm going to use all of this up today and chuck it all in. So I've just totally forgot to hit record. I've just emptied out that jar of onions that were all kind of clogged up from when I did my spice rack clear out. So I've chucked that whole thing in, and that has saved me having to peel onions, which is like a win-win. And then because we're being lazy today, I'm going to use one of my cubes, actually no, 2 of my cubes of frozen garlic, just because I love it. And I'm going to add 1 red pepper. I want to keep the other 2 peppers for fajitas that we're having tonight. I don't really want these veggies like into a puree. I'd like some structure to them, but nice and small like that. So I do have loads of tinned tomatoes that I could use in this, but when you've got freezer burnt things like this in your freezer, I'd rather use these up than open a tin. These are actually soups. This is red pepper and tomato soup. I love red pepper and tomato soup. I make it a ton. This batch I didn't love, which is why it's kind of been sat lingering in the freezer for so long. So I'm going to use 2 blocks to start with. I'm hoping that I can use all 4 in this. I might be pushing my luck, but it'd be good if I could use them up. I can certainly use half this bag up, which will be great. And I was saying this recently about if you make a dish that you don't love, then rather than serving it to your family who are like, meh, can you repurpose it in a way? And to use up these blocks of soup, I just want them out of my freezer. I don't want to throw them away. In this, they'll be perfect. And I know that the ingredients that went into this were really good. It's just I just didn't love the batch is all. So let's get them in and see where that gets us. So far we've got 500 grams of beef mince, we've got half a jar of onion granules, we've got 1 red pepper, half a wobbly, soggy celery, 2 blocks of red pepper and tomato soup. So now I'm just going to let those blocks defrost over a gentle heat whilst I chop these mushrooms up, get them in. Now whilst I'm here and I've got everything out and I'm making a mess, I may as well prep the veggies for fajitas tonight, because then I don't have to bother clearing up after myself twice. I can just get the shredded stuff out of the fridge and cook. Hurrah! Okay, there's where we're at the moment. So it's still all pretty raw. It's got loads of cooking time left to do. I'd like it to have a little bit more tomatoiness, so I've got half a tube of tomato puree from the fridge. This isn't the sun-dried tomato one, this is just the regular one. So I'm going to put all of this tube in as well, really to boost up that flavour, and then I think we can get some spices in too. Alright, meaty base is bubbling away nicely, and I've got my waffle maker on and it's just come up to temperature. I'm going to make some more waffles because I'm all out of them, and today I'm going to try making one with whole grain mustard in, because I put whole grain mustard on my waffle to eat my breakfast. I want to see what it's like in the waffle. We are living on the edge, people, living on the edge. I reckon let's start off with a teaspoon and see where that gets us. That 15 minutes. Now, one thing I forgot with my meaty base was to add probably the most important thing for me. I love to use Bovril, the stuff in the jar, but it's really quite pricey. So I do get Bovril stock cubes as well. Now, I've already salted my meaty base, which is silly. I wish I'd remembered not to, and I would have put 2 of these in, but instead I'm just going to use 1. But that gives that lovely, deep, meaty, yummy flavour to the sauce. So the video I published today, the Q&A from yesterday, has been up for about an hour, and I've just read a comment about trying bleach on those enamel pans, and I'm going to try it right now. Haven't even responded to Penny. Sorry, Penny, I will get back to respond to you in a moment. But why haven't I tried bleach before? Or have I? Maybe I did in the past. Don't know, but I got the pan out. Let me go and find some bleach, and we're going to do it. We're going to give it a go. Damn, I forgot to press record. So I've just put bleach in half this pan. I'm going to leave them outside because I don't really want to be sniffing bleach all day in the kitchen. So I'm going to leave it there. Still on waffle making duty, and I've just got that bag of cheese that I grated out of the freezer. And I just wanted to show you, look how perfect that is. No lumps, no clumps. Just lovely, loose, freshly grated cheddar. Okay, so our lovely meaty base is now finished. Doesn't that look lovely? And I've tasted it. It tastes really good. It didn't need a second stock cube in at all. I'm really happy with that. So now I'm going to tub it up into individual portions, let that cool down, and then they'll be going in the freezer. Right, that's them tubbed up, and each of those is one kind of serving size. At their most basic, I can just cook up some spaghetti and serve this over it as a spag bowl for Johnny. I could mash some potato, or if we've got some leftover potato, I could pour this into one of the little enamel baking dishes, pop the mashed potato on the top, add a bit of cheese and black pepper, and bake it for him. And then he's got a cottage pie. Something I like to do is, because I try to avoid the carbs, as you know, is to have one of these with half or quarter of an avocado sliced on top. That is just so delicious. It's a really filling meal and so tasty. And if you want chilli, then you do need to crack open a tin of red kidney beans and basically just cook up some rice, and then you've got dinner sorted. And don't be scared about chucking all kinds of ingredients into that pan. So long as you've got good flavour in there, people honestly won't even notice what they're eating. Very often people use oats as a filler. Obviously really high in carbs, really high in energy, and if you're on a really tight budget, that's a great way to fill your family's belly up. Another one is grated vegetables, especially grated carrot. It just disintegrates, it disappears. Nobody will know they're eating carrots. Even people that dislike carrots, they won't mind. They won't know that it's in there. As long as you can prepare it whilst they're not in the house, then you're onto a winner. But it's such a great way just to fill bellies really, really cheaply. Here's another little burst of kitchen inspiration. I've used up that head of broccoli that was looking a little bit sad. I've found the rest of that chorizo in the back of the fridge that definitely needs using up. I found a little packet of lardons. I think that might be a very English thing. Lardons, they're the English version of pancetta. So they're little diced pieces of back bacon, or streaky bacon probably. Really delicious. So I've just fried them up together. Then I fried up a couple of teeny weeny little onions, so just kind of one regular onion, and a whole head of broccoli and the stalk, all gone in there. Doesn't that look beautiful? Makes me think of Christmas randomly. Now I'm going to whip up 12 eggs, get that in the oven. Oh, I feel like Delia. So this is a low carb frittata. So instead of the sweet potato, which is pretty high in carbs, we've got the broccoli, pretty high in fat with the cheese and the cured meat. So yeah, nice little keto dish, this one. So there we have it. There is the morning's makings. On the left, we've got those keto waffles. In the middle, we've got the spaghetti sauce or spag bol or cottage pie filling or chili or whatever that's going to turn into, aka meaty base. And then on the right, we've got that 12 egg frittata. So for those not in the UK, last night Boris, our Prime Minister, gave the talk that everybody seems to have been pinning their hopes on about the pandemic. And I kind of feel like the country was expecting him to say, ta-da! life goes back to normal at this point. But the reaction people are having is like, what did you expect him to say? The virus is still in the country. We can't just go back to normal. There is no going back to normal until there's a vaccine, from what I can see. So just being on Twitter, on one camp, you've got people kicking off because they want all the restrictions lifted because they need to get back into work and they need to get back in their business back up and running. They need to like generate income for them, their families, their staff, etc. And then on the flip side, you've got people moaning that he wasn't strict enough and he's telling people to go back to work, and like it's ridiculous because you've got all these vulnerable people still and you're putting everyone at risk. And like, wow, what a time to be a Prime Minister. Jeepers. Right, it's just gone 2 o'clock. I need to get this duck on for our dinner. It takes 4 hours to cook because we're going for quite a high heat straight away, so we can get that lovely crispy skin, and then we're going to slow cook it for the next 3 hours so that meat is just tender and juicy and so yummy. So I'm going to actually stop talking. I promise. I'm doing it. I'm on it. Bye. I've just published this recipe actually on my blog, so I'll pop the link to that down below. But also, I really recommend these birds. They're called Cornish duck. All their birds are out on grass, completely free range. They're a lovely, lovely company, I have to say. And this specific breed of duck is top secret. I have no idea what lineage there is to get this duck, but this makes the best roasting duck I have ever eaten or cooked. And I've reared ducks for quite a few years now. I have never tasted duck meat like this. This is incredible. It is the perfect mix. So I'm just rubbing that salt into the skin just to make it go extra crispy. I actually slow roasted one of these ducks for the TV show. And I made crispy duck tacos. A kind of fusion Mexican Chinese meal. Really, really lovely. Alrighty, that's that going in the oven. God, would you look at that? There's our delicious crispy duck that we're about to dive into. There's our veggies with fajita spices on, and we've got some tortilla wraps too. Oh, look at that. Oh my good Lord. Look at that crispy, crunchy skin. And that meat is just, delicious. Wowee, look at that. We made light work of that. And just look at this crispy skin. How yummy. Oh, I am stuffed now. It's time to go and put my feet up and edit this video for you lovely people. Hope you enjoy it. If anyone is in the UK and fancies grabbing an absolute bargain deal on a Cornish duck that will be delivered to your door, they have freezers full of whole frozen duck that should have been going to all the big restaurants in Cornwall. Obviously they've all been shut down, so they're doing a massive stock clearance. There's 25% off a whole bird as the moment that I'm filming this. I don't know when that offer is going to end. Obviously it depends, I guess, on when they sell out and clear the freezers. But if you're into duck, you fancy getting one delivered for an absolute bargain price, then there'll be a link down in the description box. Go find it, go find it. Right, lovelies, I'm going to catch up with you tomorrow for day 50, the last ever daily vlog from the Quarantine Diaries series. Be there or be square. Over and out.